Good morning. Hello. We're here for a few quick tips from Beyond, some sales ideas, and eventually product. So, intro to Beyond Sales. Just a quick few minutes of ideas. One of the first things I wanted to talk about that I've learned in 25 years of sales, and just little quick things, is to use someone's name. Now, this might sound simple, but when I was in college, I originally went to school to be a teacher, and we took a class. I wanted to be a high school teacher. We took a class on drug problems in high schools. So they had we had an emergency room person come in and talk to us how to save a human being's life. So what the emergency room person said was, when someone comes in an overdose situation, the way you save a human being's life is to use their name. Okay, Marcus, you're going to be okay. Stay with us, Marcus. Everything's great. And then this particular individual told us that the single most important thing that a human being recognizes is their name. And in fact, it's the single most important thing that a dog, an animal, we have a black lab, Daisy, and when she can be sound asleep, and if I say, Daisy, her ears perk up and she, gets excited. So I made sure when I started making cold calls on the phone or in person that I always right away warmed up by using someone's name. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Liz. How are you today? Instead of calling, hi, this is Lou at Beyond Components. We sell turbo blocks. It was, hi, Liz. How are you today? And throughout my process, without going overboard, I don't want to say Liz every other word, but without going overboard, I used the name in the process to warm people up. Right away, if I would say, hi, Liz, how are you today? They'd think, does Lou know me? So I worked really hard at, Liz, do you use any kind of electronic components in your manufacturing? It was a lot different than do you use turbo blocks, relays, and switches. So one of the key things that I learned right away was if I wanted a purchase, or if I wanted a quote, I'd say, Liz, may I please quote your turbo blocks? And I knew that from a time management issue that it took no more time to use someone's name. I wanted to talk to people about what they were interested in. I didn't want to I didn't want to speak to them about what I was interested in. So I thought to myself, what are people interested in? And I kind of came up with a list of my own priorities to understand people better. This is kind of a list of my priorities in life. So these were my priorities. So I kind of thought, I thought to myself, what things could I talk to customers that may also be similar, things. I learned right away that obviously family was a big one. If I could figure out that Joey played soccer, I didn't just want to find out Joey played soccer. I wanted to know that he was a midfielder and he starts on the team. And we always spent a lot of time on family. The other thing we always spent a lot of time was on hobbies. They like to fish, they like to golf, they like to run, they like photography. I always took a personal interest in their personal interest, and actually it's what I like to do. Now the other ones, friends really don't come up very often. The faith thing comes up once in a while if someone's in a problem. I was on a sales call this week, and the woman had a cross on. I said, it's a beautiful cross, and she said, I've really needed it lately. And I said, why? And she said, I had my 20-year-old son was in a fight, got hit by a beer bottle, and he's lost his sense of taste, smell, and he cannot hear. And I have really been praying. So we had a nice conversation about faith, and again, it was more she shared it with me. But I've really learned in life that if you can find out what things are most interested in them and then spend time in their world, instead of coming and pushing product on people, spend a few minutes in their world. If they love the Red Sox, then that's what you talk. If they love fishing, do you like saltwater fishing? Do you like freshwater fishing? You ask a million questions to get to know them. Then when you come back, you say, how is your dog Fritz doing? Have you taken Fritz to Dennis Beach for a walk? You don't just say, how's your dog? It's like knowing a friend. So you want to get, detailed. And the more you can get to know these people, with what they're interested in, the more that you develop a relationship. It's not about anything other than caring about somebody else. We have a saying in the company, OPF, other people first. that's kind of the premise that I started on. And again, today, it's why I love my job is because I spend time in their world.